You know, the second most common question that I get when I'm talking to new auto accident clients, how long is this going to take? Of course, the most common question we get is what is the case worth? But the second thing that people want to know is how long is it going to take? And the answer is as unsatisfying as the answer to the first question is, which is it depends. Your case, your auto accident case, and your personal injury settlement is going to take as long as it takes. And the biggest variable in how long that process takes is how long it takes you to get all the way through your medical care. Because we can't begin to try to settle your auto accident case until you're out of medical care. And so if it takes you 3 months to get out of physical therapy, then that's on the shorter end of the spectrum. But if you do 3 months of physical therapy, you get an MRI, you need a surgery, you have another 3 months of physical therapy, maybe you need a second surgery, that would be bad. Now we're on a much longer timeline, and I have no way of knowing at the beginning of a case how long any of that's going to take. Here's what we do control though. We do control how long it takes once you're done with medical care. And so there are some ways to speed up the process of getting a case settled after you're out of medical care, and in this video I'm going to go over a couple of them. Number one is to be collecting medical bills and records as the case is going on, right? If you wait until the end of medical care to begin to collect records, then you're going to have to do all that work after you're out of medical care. But there are some doctors that you're going to see along the way that you're never going to see again, okay? If you went to an emergency room or an urgent care at the beginning of the case, or even if you had surgery towards the beginning of the case, you can begin to collect some of those medical bills and records. Anesthesia record, the x-ray record, all of those bills that are from doctors that you are finished treating with. You can get those records, have them in your file, have them ready to go. Now, you're going to have to wait until you get discharged by your orthopedist or your physical therapist or your chiropractor to finish everything up at the end of the case. But if you have a complex case, you might have a dozen medical providers. And best practice is to start collecting things from the 8 or so that you see maybe 1 or 2 times so that you have that ready to go when the time comes. Number 2 thing that delays cases from getting settled and resolved is not having all of the lien information. What do I mean by that? There are some health insurance companies where you're going to have to pay your health insurance company back at the end of the case. Most commonly this happens with people who have Medicare, Medicaid, federal employee health insurance plans, which we see a lot of in the Northern Virginia area, and people that work for large companies that have ERISA-based plans. Now, you're going to get a letter if you have one of those plans. It says something like notice of lien, notice of subrogation, or it's asking you for some information about your auto accident case. When you get those letters, just give them to your lawyer. Your lawyer will reach out to the insurance company, will get the information that they need, or give them the information that they need, and also get information from them that the lawyer needs. Because not every plan that says they have a right to be reimbursed actually has a right to be reimbursed. So your lawyer is going to pull the plan documents, read through it, make sure that what they're saying is on the up and up. He's going to look at the ledger and make sure that we're only reimbursing them for things that are actually related to the auto accident. Because sometimes we see unrelated charges on there and we don't want to pay back more than we have to. And the thing that you need to know about liens is that especially government agencies, they can take forever to produce these things. So you have to, at the very beginning of the case, be asking the representative for all of the information that you're going to want. And if you don't do that, you can cost yourself months or even years on the end of your timeline getting a case settled. Number 3 way to speed up the process is to keep really good records around your lost earnings. So it's really hard to go back 6 or 7 months through your pay stubs and try to figure out, okay, when I missed 3 hours that week, what was that due to? When I missed 16 hours in that pay period, why was that? Was it a holiday? Was it a vacation? Was it something that I planned? Or was it medical care? And so keeping really good records during the duration of your case about why you missed time from work to go to medical care is terribly important to having an efficient settlement at the end of the case. Number 4 way to make sure that your case resolves as quickly as it can once you're done with medical care is keep really good touch with your lawyer, right? Sometimes we have clients that just ghost us, right? Asking for information. We're trying to get the wage loss. We're trying to make sure that we know all the doctors that you've seen and we just can't get a return phone call or an email. All that does is extend the life of the case. And I never understand why when I'm trying to put money in your pocket, we're trying to make this happen for you, I can't get clients to call me back, but sometimes it happens that way. And so keeping in really good, tight communication with your lawyer, answering their questions, getting them the documents that they need in a quick manner is really important to getting you paid as soon as we can. And then the last piece on this is just kind of understanding what the general timelines are. So in our firm, from the time that you finish medical care to the time that a demand package goes out, usually that takes about a month, because I've still got to get a couple of medical bills and records in from your doctors to complete the package. Got to have you look at it, and then we got to have to get it over to the insurance company. From there, it takes usually another 30 days from the insurance company to evaluate the case and make us an offer. So at a minimum, I'd say you're looking at about 2 months from the last day of your medical care to the time that you have the first offer, right? And you don't really control how long it takes the insurance adjuster to evaluate a case. What you do control, and what your lawyer does control, is what you do when it goes beyond 30 or 45 days, right? In our firm, we don't like to get beyond 45 days with a demand package sitting with an insurance company if the case isn't either settled or very nearly settled or in suit. We move fast. I call this the velocity of money. And if you let an insurance company tell you, we're evaluating it, we got to get people to sign off on it, the offer's coming, the offer's coming, the offer's coming, and they can hold on to your money for 60 or 90 or 120 days, the insurance company has reinvested that money and they're making money on money. We don't want that. We want cases that should settle to settle. We want cases that aren't going to settle to be put into lawsuit, because court dates are dragging on and on and on. And even in Northern Virginia now, it's almost 18 months in some jurisdictions between the date that you file a lawsuit and the date that you ultimately go to trial. And so if we have a case that we know is going to go to trial, we need to file that case early so that we can move the case along through the system, because it doesn't do anybody any good for your case to be sitting on the lawyer's shelf for months and months without any progress. So now that you know what the general timeline for an auto accident case is, what are you going to do? So now that you know what the general timeline for an auto accident case is, you have a better understanding of whether or not you should hire a lawyer to handle your case. And if you're in Virginia, my firm would love to talk to you about possible representation in your auto accident case. If you're outside of Virginia, give us a call anyway. We will get you in touch with the best lawyer in your state. We've got a couple other videos that are going to be great for you. Poke around the channel, see what else you can watch, and good luck with your case.